July 1934, on the banks of the Rio Grande. Not within the memory of the oldest inhabitant had such intolerable heat been known. Day after day, a fiery disk moved across the sky. From the sandy, sun-seared soil, dust clouds arose and drifted listlessly on a shriveling, desert-born breeze. Babies gasped for breath under the grueling ordeal of the hot winds. Beasts and man alike suffered the pangs of hunger, the agonies of thirst. And everywhere there were gruesome signs of the sun god's wrath. To the banks of the Rio Grande came the Indians to find even this mighty stream burned dry by the heat god's fiery breath. But the heat god's anger was unappeased. For 90 days, the blistering heat continued, prayer dances, and yet day after day, the white man's thermometer registered 110 in the shade, 125 in the sun. And in the towns and villages along the border, food preservation became a problem of increasing gravity. In the intense heat, owners of Oasis refrigerators found that milk soured, meat spoiled, and vegetables withered in just a few hours. Little children suffered. The problem of safeguarding food became a question of life and death. Then, in the midst of the great heat wave, to protect the health of her 2 children, Mrs. Will Thompson bought a Frigidaire with super freezer. And through all the welter of heat and dryness, Frigidaire proved her wisdom and foresight. Soon, for miles around, the neighbors and friends learned of this new oasis and brought their butter, milk, and eggs for safekeeping. One place which, no matter how hot it might be outside, gave a temperature safely below 50 degrees. Neighbors began to come for ice because they knew she always had it. During the hottest days, says Mrs. Thompson, I never had a moment's worry about my children's food. Day and night, my Frigidaire with the super freezer kept milk cool and sweet. The peace of mind I have about my food once it is placed in my Frigidaire is beyond price. And from Mrs. Will Thompson, as from Frigidaire owners everywhere, friends learned of Frigidaire's super freezer with its ability to keep food safely below 50 degrees and to freeze ice and desserts quickly even in the hottest weather.